Meet Aisha, a young Senegalese immigrant who just landed in the US. She left behind her son Lamine in hopes of building a better life for them both. It's been 9 months and now she's starting a new babysitting job with a wealthy family. On her first day, she enters the building and the foreign doorman named Malik greets her. Amy, her boss, gives her a tour of the house. Aisha even gets her own room. May this richness find me. She introduces her to little Rose, a bright young girl who's instantly drawn to Aisha. Amy gives Aisha a warm hug since her husband hasn't touched her coochie in ages. During lunch, Rose is especially fond of her cooking, which she claims tastes way better than the boring, unseasoned white people food she's used to. Later that day, Aisha FaceTimes her cousin, Maria too, to see Lamine. She misses him deeply and promises that they'll be reunited soon. Apparently, the little shit bit another child at a birthday party. After the call, she attends a child's birthday party with her friend Saleh. The event buzzes with laughter, dancing, and the pulse of African music. But just as they're about to cut the cake, Aisha freezes. For a moment, she sees her son standing where the birthday child should be. But one blink, and he's gone. The next day, Amy calls to check in. She's thrilled that Rose is settling in well with Aisha and mentions that her husband Adam is returning from a trip the following day. She'll need Aisha's help once he's back. Aisha doesn't mind helping. She even agrees to work overnight when Adam is back so she can keep an eye on Rose. Amy recalls Aisha said $100 for overnight stays, but Aisha said it was $150, trying to cheat our girl from her wage. When Aisha gets home that night, she watches a video of her son and softly sings him an African song. It's her little way of staying connected, even from thousands of miles away. The next day, Amy's house is busy with preparations for a surprise party to welcome Adam home. The guests gather in the living room, and not long after, Adam walks in. Amy tries to greet him with a kiss, but Adam gets upset. Yelling at her, unbeknownst to him, the guests can hear his ugly ass in the other room. Rose is excited to see him and is given a book titled Anansi the Spider. As the night progresses, Aisha walks in on the guests arguing about people looting during protests. Aisha gets paid by Adam and Adam talks about the photographs in the room. One is of a black man who was shot dead for protesting. That night, she falls asleep easily, but the next morning she jolts awake from a strange nightmare. She dreamed of water pouring down inside her room. Later in the day, she sends money back home, then stops by Saleh's hair shop for a quick visit. Saleh vents about how exhausted she is, working nonstop just to survive, but admits she has no intention of going back to Africa. Aisha vents that Lamine's dad has chosen not to be in Lamine's life, taking a page out of the American way. A few days later, Rose runs off while Aisha prepares her meal. While searching for her, she sees Amy sat in the shower. That's when Rose reveals herself and Aisha takes her away. That evening, Aisha joins Adam and Rose to have dinner at a restaurant. Adam says he is happy to have Aisha around because Rose now loves to eat. He showers her with compliments but is stunned when she says Amy has not paid her in a week. He promises to talk to Amy. However, their dinner is interrupted when Adam's side piece, dim sum, arrives. After dropping Rose off, Aisha heads home. But along the way, she bumps into Malik, the receptionist at Amy's building. Malik is foreign, and she knows it. He flirts a little, making her laugh when he correctly guesses she's from Senegal. The moment is brief but warm. He smiles and lets her go since it's getting late. A few days later, Aisha tries calling Maria too, but the call goes straight to voicemail. Feeling a little off, she glances out at the nearby river and freezes when she sees a figure floating in the water. But it fades after she looks away. The next day at work, Aisha spots a boy wandering the hallway. Turns out he's Bishop, Malik's son. He's got a mischievous smile and doesn't waste time stirring the pot, casually telling Aisha that his dad likes her. Malik doesn't even try to play it cool. He owns it, asks for her number, and offers to take her out sometime. Aisha agrees. Yes, girl, get your mans. That evening, she stops by Malik's place. His grandmother, Kathleen, greets her warmly and invites her in for tea. On the wall hangs a painting of a mermaid, and Kathleen explains that it's said to attract wealth and fertility, but warns that such spirits can be dangerous and unpredictable. Aisha glances at the painting and admits she's seen something like it before, but doesn't believe in the supernatural. Then Kathleen asks, "What's your child's name?" Aisha stutters. She never mentioned Lamine. Before she can respond, Malik walks in, ready for their date. Still shocked, Aisha blurts out her son's name before they leave. Over dinner, Aisha brings up Kathleen out of curiosity, and Malik casually explains that she's a priestess. Their conversation takes a turn when Malik discovers that Aisha has a son. He's shocked but genuinely thinks the kid is adorable after seeing his photo. When Aisha asks about his own family, Malik mentions he has 5 kids with 5 different baby mamas. "Girl, run!" Thankfully, he was joking, but things get heavy when she brings up his mother, Gloria. Malik reveals that his mother passed away and had schizophrenia during his childhood. He opens up about being bullied because of it and how he started building up his body just to scare people off. Aisha, moved by his vulnerability, shares that she lost her mother when she was just 12. After their emotional dinner, Malik takes Aisha home, and the two make some jollof rice with cream. A few days later, Aisha takes Rose to the playground for some fun. While the kids run around, Aisha sits with a few nannies. One of them says that the kid is too fat and eats too much junk, and the kid had criticized her cooking, claiming it to be too spicy because of the salt. But then, something strange happens. She spots a familiar figure, Lamine, standing silently in the rain even though it's not raining. Before she can process it, Rose dashes into the street and nearly gets hit by a car, snapping Aisha back to reality. That evening, Aisha reads Rose a bedtime story from Anansi the spider. When the story ends, she gently asks Rose why she ran off at the park. The girl says, "Anansi told me to." Disturbed, she calls Lamine to check on him, but he's clearly frustrated and tired of waiting to see her. After the call, Amy walks into the house announcing her big promotion, but Aisha couldn't care less. She's just there for her paycheck. When Amy asks her to watch Adam, Aisha flat out refuses. Girl is like, that was not in the job description. At home, Aisha feels unsettled when she looks in the mirror. It's her reflection, but something about it feels off. Another day, after putting Rose to bed, a spider crawls up the wall behind her, but she doesn't notice it. Not long after, Adam invites her over for dinner, and she accepts. While they eat, she reminds him that Amy still hasn't paid her. She explains that she needs the money because she's planning to bring her son over. Adam offers to give her an advance, but Aisha makes it clear that it's not an advance, it's what she's already owed. Once he pays her, she hugs him to say thanks. But while they're still in the room, she sees a strange figure nearby. She doesn't know what to make of it. Then Adam gets too comfortable and tries to kiss her, but she pulls away and bites him. He apologizes for his actions, but begs her not to say shit to Amy. Boy, yo, ugly ass gets around. That night, she tries reaching out to her cousin, but it goes straight to voicemail. A few days later, Aisha takes Rose to a kid's pool for swimming practice. While the others have fun, Aisha submerges herself in water, but when she gets out, she finds no one but a mermaid in the pool. The sight of the being sends chills down her spine, and she struggles against it. However, she wakes up surrounded by kids and realizes she almost drowned. The following day, she visits Kathleen, and Kathleen tells her about mermaids. Kathleen says they are figures of survival and resistance for oppressed people. Yet Aisha wonders what they want from her. Kathleen believes they want to help. According to her, the mermaids tried to warn her about something, but she had to learn the hard way. It's about her late daughter, Gloria, Malik's mom. In the past, her mental condition worsened, and she became a threat to herself and others. Kathleen was scared for Malik and called the police. Yet when they arrived, they treated Gloria like a wild animal, tased, cuffed, and stuffed her in their car. Kathleen tried to interfere, but Gloria was still taken away. Aisha is shocked by this story, and she thinks about it when she leaves the house. One day while she's asleep, a spider creeps into her mouth and she jolts awake. That afternoon, she finds nothing to feed Rose, so she settles on giving her some jollof rice. Rose enjoys the meal, but her mother dislikes it. She thinks it's too spicy for a child's stomach. Aisha shows her there ain't shh in the fridge, and all this time Aisha has been the one paying for Rose's food. Rose is sent to her room. That's when Aisha tells Amy she hasn't been paid for her recent overtime hours. Amy accuses Aisha of losing track of her daughter several times, but Aisha calmly reminds her that her time isn't free. She agrees never to feed Amy such foods again and declines to work overtime for a low pay rate. She raises her price and demands payment in advance, plus what she's owed. Finally, Amy agrees and says Adam will pay her in the morning. It turns out all payments come from her, and her husband is useless. Her husband is trifling and a broke ass. She in a dusty relationship. Just when Aisha tries to leave the house, Rose runs out begging her not to go, and Amy interferes. One day, Aisha spends the night at Malik's and is attacked by a weird snake in bed. And no, it wasn't Malik's D. She screams for help, and Malik wakes up to calm her down. As for the snake, it turns out it wasn't real. A few days pass, and another strange thing happens when she lies to rest. Mold spreads out in her room, and she is almost suffocated to death. But she jolts awake and realizes that it's a dream. Concerned, Adam sees the mold in the room and offers to prepare a couch for her in the living room. After he leaves, Aisha prepares unseasoned shit for Rose, but she flat out rejects it and throws it to the floor. Pissed, Aisha tells her to pick it up and she declines. She only helps when she sees Aisha cleaning up the mess. After that, Aisha prepares the bathtub for Rose. When she's done, she struggles to find Rose and begins hearing strange voices in the house. Then she hears Rose's faint voice saying, "Help me." Immediately, she picks up a knife and mistakenly injures herself while staring lost at a portrait in Adam's office. Upon reaching the bathroom, she slips and falls to the ground. But when she recovers, something takes control of her body and tries forcing her to drown herself. Although terrified, she resists and is shocked to see herself holding a knife pointed at Rose. Immediately, she grabs Rose and hugs her in relief. Later, Aisha tries to explain herself, but Rose calmly says it wasn't her fault. It was Lamine. Aisha is stunned. She never told Rose about him. When she asks how Rose knows, Rose simply says, "Anansi told me." I would have been running for the hills. The next day, Aisha wakes up and sees that Adam has left her pay on the table. Excited, she decides to send money to Mariatu for the flight tickets for herself and Lamine. That evening, when she calls Mariatu, she learns that Lamine is asleep and that their tickets are already booked. Aisha is thrilled as she looks forward to their arrival. The following day, she waits at the airport with Malik, eager to see her son, but Mariatu does not show up. But upon stepping outside, she sees Mariatu in tears and without Lamine. When Aisha asks about him, she sobs, saying that Lamine was swept away by strong waves during their trip to the beach, and she didn't know how to tell her. The news breaks Aisha's heart, and she weeps bitterly. Later, feeling overwhelmed, she leaves Malik's place and heads out to get some air. On seeing the river, she jumps in, trying to reach out to a figure that resembles Lamine. A mermaid helps her to the surface, and she regains consciousness on the riverbank, surrounded by a medical team. It turns out she almost drowned, and that's when she learns that she is pregnant. About 9 months later, she is filled with joy as she gives birth to Malik's child. Damn, that was pretty sad. I like its use of African folklore like Anansi, a spider-like figure who likes to trick people, and Mami Wata, a mermaid that is associated with wealth, healing, and feminine power. What did you guys think of this one?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.